Some courts, and I've seen some courts that will have kind of similar to how sometimes brochures are set up or things, information is set up. I've seen them sometimes that will have the forms or some appeal forms or things like that. There's a notice of appeal form to do an appeal. If the court doesn't have it, you can find it with the court's website. sccourts.org is our court's website. They do have a link for documents, and you can search documents there, magistrate forms or common pleas forms, but it would be called a notice of civil appeal. Okay. You still have to pay rent during that time. The other thing that is important is you have to file with it what's called an undertaking. And all the undertaking really has to say is, I will continue to pay rent during my appeal when it comes due. Whatever that rent is. If you're paying your $100, public housing, $100. If you're not having to pay rent because you're a negative renter and you get a utility check, that's what it would still be, but you have to basically put that undertaking or statement that you're going to do that. Okay. Some courts will then have a hearing on that to set the amount of rent and make sure it's all understood by the parties. At that point, then you would not be able to be evicted until the appeal is heard, unless you don't pay the rent. If you don't pay the rent while the appeal is going on, and it's the same rules, time frames, usually on the 1st and late after the 5th. If you don't appeal it, they will notify the court, and the court will lift the stay at minimum, which all that means is they will then say, okay, they can proceed to put you out. Your appeal might still go forward, depending, but you won't be able to stay there if you don't continue to pay rent during that time. So keep that in mind. It's important to know.